Hello and welcome to a new video in the new year, 2016. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded my last video / my last review, which was Dungeon Keeper, and I'm really sorry that it's been a while since I've uploaded my last video, but I have a very good excuse, and that excuse is Fallout 4. I've spent so much time playing Fallout 4 in those last almost 2 months now, and I can't tell you exactly how much time I've spent so far in this game because you can't see it on the PlayStation 4, but I would estimate that it's somewhere around 250 hours. So I basically lived in the world of Fallout 4 and I really love it. I've beaten the game once with the faction, the Institute, and but in the end I've started a new character, and I really still enjoy playing this game, and I'm gonna continue playing this game in the near future. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time with this game, and yeah, since I play Fallout 4 I also managed to get myself now finally one of the current gen systems. I bought the PlayStation 4, and since Christmas we also have a couple more games. My fiance, actually I bought my fiance Until Dawn, and she loves this game. She also has beaten it at least once, I guess, and I've watched a little bit playing this game, and I also think it's a very cool game. And I got Killzone Shadowfall, and it's still sealed. This is one of the few games that I really wanted to have for the PlayStation 4, and which I'm gonna play somewhere in the maybe near future, let's see. And before I got the PlayStation 4 and Fallout 4, I've already started working on my next review, which is gonna be a game review of an Amiga game. Yes, finally I'm gonna review another Amiga game, but I'm not gonna tell you right now which game this is going to be. But last year, also at the beginning of January, I made a similar video like this one, where I talked a little bit about what is coming up in 2015, which I'm not really gonna do now because yeah, it's gonna be more of the same. So I'm gonna try to review video games and also some video game systems that I haven't reviewed before. But I wanted to make a video, and I'm gonna show you now my treasures from 2015. I didn't bought that much in 2015, and the stuff that I'm gonna show you in a few seconds is most of the stuff that I got this year. And the basic reason why I don't bought that much is, number one, money is short, let's call it like that. So I have a lot of bills to pay and so on, and yeah, living is expensive and everything. So this was one of the reasons why I didn't bought that much this year. And the other reason, which I also mentioned in the video of last year, is that I wanted to take a step back in terms of collecting, mainly because space in my or better, let's say free space in my game room right now, it's still pretty organized, but the more stuff you get, the more rearrangements do I have to do in shelves or and everything. So those are the main reasons why I didn't bought that much this year. But I'm gonna get soon a very cool bundle, because I had some extra cash, or I got some extra cash at Christmas, and of course I invested it to get more games for my Amiga collection. They are still in the mail, so hopefully in a couple of days I'm gonna get this little bundle. But anyways, let's start with some of my treasures, and the most games that I bought this year are for my 3DO collection. I already mentioned it before, I'm not trying to get a complete collection of the 3DO, because this is impossible and too expensive, and also because I don't really want every game of the 3DO collection, let's call it that, from the 3DO system. But let's start with the first one. This one right here, Panzergeneral. This is a very cool turn-based strategy game set in World War II, and if I'm not mistaken, this was the very first game of the General series, or let's say I call it the General series, because there was Panzergeneral or Panzer General, then there was, I guess, Allied General, there was Fantasy General, the Perfect General, Star General, and I guess a couple more, I guess Pacific General, something like that. I already had this in my collection, but I didn't have it complete in box. I only have the game CD, but now I have the complete game with box and manual and everything. So this was pretty cool. Then the next 3DO game is this one, Carrier, Fortress at Sea. This is actually not a game. This is a tour through an aircraft carrier. It's more an interactive, video CD, I guess you can call it. I haven't tried it, and this is also one of the few things that I really wanted to have for my collection. It's not a game or anything. I really like the box art, and it's also not a very common title. It's pretty rare actually, but it's not expensive or anything, and it's in okay condition, especially because it's one of those flimsy long boxes. But I'm really glad that I could get this game for my collection, and yeah, it wasn't too expensive. Like I said, it's not really an expensive title, but in the end, for me, collecting for the 3DO system is never really that cheap, because I get most of the games either from the US or Canada, or from Great Britain / from England. And yeah, most of the times I have to spend also some money, sometimes a lot of money, for shipping, and especially if I order stuff from America, I also have, or Canada, I also have to pay custody. So even if I get a really good deal on a game, on a system or accessory or whatever, I also have to pay the shipping prices and also the custody. And most of the times when I got a really good deal, in the end, after I've paid everything, for the most part I got a good deal for yeah, in comparison to people who actually live in America, who would bought the same auction that I have. They would get a great deal, but for me, after shipping and custody and everything, I got a good deal. Okay, but we continue now with Captain Quasar. Captain Quasar is, yeah, it's an action game from an isometric view. It's actually pretty, yeah, it's comical-like or comic-like, and it's actually a very funny game and also a brutal game. I've never played it before. I've seen it a couple of times on the internet / I watched some let's plays of this game. Pretty cool one. For the most part, I really actually wanted it just because of the box art, because I think it looks pretty cool. And yeah, it took me actually a long time to get this finally now complete in box, and it's actually in a very beautiful condition. Only 2-3 cracks on the box. So this was actually very cool that I finally got this for my collection. Now the next thing is this one, the Livestage Virtual House. And what this basically is kind of, yeah, it's a virtual house that you can design, and you can put furnitures into it and all kinds of stuff. A very weird title actually. It's a little more uncommon, let's call it like that, because not that many people bought this let's call it program, because it's not really a game. And this version is still sealed, and I'm gonna yeah, keep it that way. This is also one of those things I want to have it for my collection, but I'm not really that interested in playing this program or anything. But yeah, also cool that I finally got it, and actually sealed is also cool. Okay, let's come to the next one. Yeah, Flashback. This is a very cool game, And I already played this on a couple of different systems. I first played it on the Commodore Amiga, of course. And Flashback, yeah, it's an action adventure slash platformer in the style of Prince of Persia. And but it plays in the future. It has a lot of puzzles, and the animations, especially of the main character, are really great. Awesome graphics and awesome music and everything. And finding this complete in the long box on the 3DO is actually not that easy. So this was also one of those games that I've been looking forward to have for my collection a very long time. So this is also pretty cool that I got this finally in my collection. Then the next one, yeah, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, or Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Yeah, this is a very weird game. I guess almost everyone of you that watches this video right now knows the story about Plumbers Don't Wear Tie. I guess everybody has seen the review of the Angry Video Game Nerd. It's not a really cool game or anything. It's totally funny and obscure, and yeah, cheesy. And I guess it actually says, does it say? Yeah, interactive romantic comedy. They actually didn't say that it's an interactive movie or anything, because it's more a slideshow, except for the intro, which is actually yeah, one of those full motion video intros. This is also one of those programs slash games, from, if you want to call it, that I really wanted to have for my collection, but especially because the Angry Video Game Nerd made a video about this title, and also the fact that this title didn't sold that well back in the days. It's pretty rare. It's not super rare or anything, but you don't find it that much anymore. And because of the review of the Angry Video Game Nerd, it's not a cheap title to get for the 3DO, and I finally got it. And with shipping, I was very happy that I didn't spend almost 100 euros. So I got it under 100 euros with shipping. So this is also pretty cool to have it now in my collection. It's in an okay condition because it also has some cracks, but on the box. But in the end, yeah, pretty cool to have it now in my collection. Now the last game that I got this year for the 3DO is a real classic, The Lost Eden. Or actually Lost Eden, sorry. This is a graphic adventure with a lot of cinematics in-game graphics. So it's not a full motion video game, but a beautiful game in terms of graphics, and also the sound is really beautiful, the music in this game. And it's more or less a point and click adventure. And I played this the first time on the PC back in the days with a friend of mine, and yeah, I actually can say we were both enchanted the first time we played this, because we actually started to play it on a demo disc that came back in the days with the first Command & Conquer on the PC. And afterwards we knew, hey, this is a very cool game, we have to get it. And at some point he got it in his collection, and we played it together and beat the game. So it's a pretty cool and yeah, a great adventure game that you can get, for instance, for the 3DO. It's in very nice condition, especially because it's one of those stronger long box cases. But in the end, yeah, it's ripped here on the top. But in the end, I'm glad that I now have it for my collection, because it's actually also one of the more expensive titles for the 3DO, and it's also not that common. So those were the 3DO games that I got this year. Then the next thing that I wanted to show you is that I bought myself one Game Boy Color game, and that is Dragon Slayer. And what I think, or better say what I thought when I saw it on eBay, when I saw this game, was that I couldn't believe that they made the original Dragon Slayer, a version for it for the Game Boy Color. Sorry. And this was the main reason why I bought this title. because I knew that there is a version of Dragon Slayer on the original Game Boy, but it's a jump and run, and also on the NES it's also more, it's not really a jump and run, it's more a puzzle game. But this version right here is the same one like the original. It's how do you call it? It's a quick time event, so sorry. And yeah, I was very surprised that they made a conversion of the original Dragon Slayer for the Game Boy Color. So this is the main reason why I wanted to have it. It's in a very beautiful condition, and I've also played it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy it, and now I have one more game for my very small Game Boy Color collection. And also Game Boy related, I bought myself this one right here, and a Game Boy Advanced SP. I already had a Game Boy Advanced SP, this one, my Zelda Game Boy Advanced SP, but the main reason why I wanted to have the other one was because this is the model AGS 101, and the big difference between the normal one and the 101 is that this one has the better, let's call it better, backlight screen. And the main difference, especially if you compare them side by side, is like day and night. And on the original Game Boy Advanced SP, you have a light switch on the Game Boy Advanced. And when you press this, you can either activate or turn on or off the backlight. And on this model, you can you also have the same function, but in the end, it's just like the first mode is the same one like on the original Game Boy Advanced SP, and if you push it again, then it gets super bright. And with this, you get such a nice visuals, or but let's say such a nice quality. All the colors in the games are stronger, everything is brighter. It's very it's a difference between day and night if you compare both of them. So this is one of the reasons why I always wanted to get one of the AGS 101 models. They are of course rarer than the original models of the Game Boy Advanced SP, but they are not super rare. And in the end, most of the times, if people sell those, or let's say if you are interested in buying one of those, you get a Game Boy Advanced SP AGS 101 model for around 70 to 80 euros if they are in an okay condition, which means that they're gonna have some scratches. Also, this one is a little beat up on the top part right here, you can see some scratches, but it's not that big of a deal. And except for those, it's actually in a very, very good condition, and I was able to get this one with the power supply, and it also came with a game right here with Scrabble Blast, sorry, and everything together with custody, I guess. I paid under 80 euros, so this was a very good deal for me. And yeah, I also wanted to have this always in my collection. Now I finally have it. Then the next things that I'm gonna show you is a bundle that I bought for the Commodore Amiga. But yeah, one of the things I actually didn't knew existed, at least back in the days, but I had some doubts back in the days that maybe there could exist something like that. And the games that came with this accessory, I only know one of them, but I never played any of those games. And in the end, what I got was a light gun for the Commodore Amiga. It actually looks like the light gun for the Master System, for the Sega Master System. And this is also one of those things that the Commodore Amiga has the 9-pin joystick ports, and the Sega Master System also has the 9-pin controller ports. So I'm thinking right now that maybe I didn't have to buy this to play Laserdisc, sorry, light gun games on the Commodore Amiga, because maybe the Sega Master System controller would also work on the Commodore Amiga, but I never tested it, and I also never had a Sega Master System light gun, so maybe someone out there knows the answer if actually the light gun works on the Commodore Amiga. I always had the feeling that there must be a light gun for the Commodore Amiga, especially because on the Commodore Amiga there were so many games ported from the arcades, like Operation Wolf, Operation Thunderblade, Line of Fire, POW, and so on, that would be perfect with a light gun to play. And but as far as I know, especially back in the days, I never heard of a light gun for the Commodore Amiga, and I've never seen any light guns for it in catalogs or in stores or anything. And I got suspicious, especially because in the game Die Hard 2, which is also more or less a light gun shooter, which you would have to play with the mouse, but in the options menu there was an extra option where it said calibrating light gun, and there I thought, is this a joke or anything, because there is no light gun for the Commodore Amiga. And this was also the part where I always was jealous about the Nintendo Entertainment System, because me and my brother, we didn't have one growing up, and they had the Zapper, and this was so cool, and all the other consoles had a light gun, but yeah, we on the Commodore Amiga, we didn't have a light gun, so this was also something that why I was a little bit jealous about everybody who had a video game system with a light gun, because I was very into light guns and everything. So, but in the end, yeah, this is the phaser from the company Trojan, and they made also light guns for other systems, for the Atari ST and everything. And this is the next thing, because the Atari ST has also the same 9-pin joystick port. So why would you need to release a gun that only works on the Atari ST and one that only works on the Commodore Amiga? But in the end, yeah, I bought this one. It was actually sealed, so it was one of those old stock but new. And yeah, sadly I had to remove it, because when I got it, it was completely dusty and I wanted to clean it, and while I was cleaning it, it ripped apart, because the plastic on it, the plastic wrap on it was so old, and yeah, so sadly I had to remove it. But I haven't opened it or anything, so it's actually still sealed in the end. And with it came a couple of games, also by the same company, Trojan. Trojan Software it is actually called. The first one is this one, Firestar. Never heard of it. Kind of a space shooter. Then the second game is this one, Alix or Alix. I also have no idea. Also looks like some kind of a science fiction shooter. Then this was the only game that I knew existed, The Enforcer. More like a gangster shooter or whatever. This actually looks pretty cool. And the last one that came in this bundle was this one, Cyber Assault. Also never heard of it. It reminds me of another light gun shooter actually from the arcades of Space Gun. And yeah, it looks pretty cool, but I actually didn't have time yet to test all that stuff. And this was actually also a very good deal. I can't remember it precisely, but I guess I paid somewhere around 65 euros for the whole bundle, so it was actually a pretty good deal for me. And the last thing that I wanted to show you, this was this was basically my Christmas present that I got from my fiance. And this is a book from my collection about collecting video games, or better, let's say electronic handheld and tabletop games. This is a very cool book. This, if I'm not mistaken, it was released in the year 2000. It's from Die Gestalten Verlag. it was released by this company, so I actually guess this is a German book, or a book that was released in Germany first. But it also has on the back the prices for Germany, for England, and also for the US. And a friend of mine who is also a very big video game collector, Peter, who I also mentioned a couple of times in my videos, he had this since the day I know him, and every time I got to his place, I always took it out of the shelf and had to look through it, because I think it's such a nice book, especially for a collector, and it's very colorful. It looks basically like a shopping catalog, especially from back in the days, from a toy store or whatever. And yeah, it's a really great book. You get some informations about the of each handheld and tabletop game that is in this book. And yeah, for me as a collector, it's a pretty cool book with some history about the electronic handheld and tabletop games. And of course it is called Electronic Plastic, which I haven't mentioned yet, but now I also have mentioned the name for this book. And yeah, basically those are my treasures from 2015. Like I said before, especially because it's been such a long time since I've uploaded my last video, I wanted to make this little, let's call it update, or maybe pickup video if you want to call it. But in the end, I already made one of these last year, so I guess one pickup video a year is not that much or that annoying. And yeah, from now, what's gonna come, or what is happening in the future on my channel, like I said before, I try to make as much reviews of video games and systems as possible. I also hope that I'm gonna make some more Amiga video game reviews, and the next one is going to be a review about an Amiga video game. And I actually already started working on this. I'm about at the half half of it is finished, sorry. And in the end, I had it. I spent most of my times working on this review before Fallout 4 came out, but since Fallout 4 came out, I spent almost every time of my free time playing this game. And in the end, now in the future, I'm not gonna play that much anymore, but I'm still enjoying it, so I'm still gonna play it. But now I'm gonna spend more time for YouTube, actually, for making new reviews. And yeah, in the end, 2015 was okay. It wasn't great or anything, but it was better than 2014, and I hope 2016 is going to be better even than 2015. And I really hope and wish all of you out there, all my viewers, subscribers, whatever, that you have an awesome and successful 2016. And thanks again for all your support. I also reached a couple of weeks ago my 3,000 subscribers. Well, actually I have over 3,000 subscribers now, which is also pretty cool. So thanks again for watching, for supporting my channel, for writing comments and everything. And yeah, like I said, I wish you everything, alles Gute. It is called in German, in the German language. So yeah, like I said before, success, and that no one gets sick or anything. And I just wish you an awesome year 2016, and I hope you enjoyed this little video. Maybe see you next time. Take care. Bye.